pool is a future, the final push to glory, to follow in the steps of those before me. For nation, for club, for coaches who've led, the final step on the block, Olympic dreams ahead.
Our pool is a classroom, life and death lessons, unrivaled. Floating, gliding, but in learning laughter, a touch of water, first steps to survival.
That 3 boys, aged 11, 10 and 8 have died.
Father has told Sky News of the awful moment his wife and son died in Loch Lomond on Saturday.
But what if the pool closed nearest to me? Would she be free to swim in the sea?
Would my club close to the loss of a nation?
A community broken for a whole generation.
A lifetime stolen of body and soul.
Laughter faded like a memory, an echo.
Life skills vanished, education unfinished. Our children, a statistic, our lives diminished.
Our pools are for all abilities, ages, from cradle to grave and in between stages, for the health of the nation and life skills schools. Our message is simple.
Hey, for our pools.
Oh, very good afternoon to you and welcome back. It's Monday afternoon. That means it's session 8 of the Scottish National Age Group Championships here in the Aberdeen Sports Village. Warm welcome to you all on this beautiful sunny afternoon. It's actually really nice and warm up here in Aberdeen today. So nice and full of action as well in the pool, and we're looking forward to the events this afternoon. It's the youngsters the two age groups, 11 to 13 and the 14s. It's just the 14s that swim in the 50 freestyle. So we start off with them, male and open and female, 3 heats each of those. Then we bring in the 11 to 13s as well for the remaining events, and they are 100 breaststroke for male and open, 200 butterfly for the females, 200 backstroke for male and open, and then it's freestyle for the remainder of the session, 400 free for females, and we've got 2 heats of 1500 free in the male and open. I'm Duncan McKinnell, and joining me in the commentary box is Lynn Alderton.
Good to be with you again, Duncan. Enjoyed this morning. Thought that was a really good morning, and it's really good to see the little ones as well. It's interesting you were saying about it being such a glorious day, and it is really sunny outside. I had to scrape the ice off my car this morning. It was so cold. But yeah, it is. It's lovely outside, and it's pretty warm up here on the balcony as well.
Yeah, well, you live in the wilds of darkest Aberdeenshire. What can you expect?
How jolly dare you? How jolly dare you? No, in the summer we barely see. Well, in fact, we don't get nighttime. You know, not proper nighttime. We're too far north.
Don't you wish you were in Aberdeen right now? See the swimming and see this beautiful day in this lovely pool environment. So as I said, we're starting off with 50 freestyle. There'll be 3 heats for both the 14-year-old male and open and the females. We'll be looking forward to seeing some good head-to-heads later on, but they've got to get to the final. Fastest 10 of those swimmers will progress through. Seen some swimmers in these ones who have already performed very successfully. Andrew Liu with the gold in the fly yesterday. Daniel Combe has gone well. Perth City swimmer Brogan Smith has been strong, so has Yasin Hattab. And in the females, Poppy McCready, Millie Searle has been very strong. Maddie Hall as well. So plenty of talent there in the 100 breaststroke. Brogan Smith will be back again. Daniel Rose of Aberdeen has been strong. Nico Carver as well. The 200 butterfly for the females. So swimmers to watch out for there. Lula Milne. And in the final heat, Katie Aitchison and Millie Searle. That will be a good, exciting head-to-head. Then the 200 backstroke, Julian Ockroge, the Shetlander from Delting Dolphins. He has looked really good. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do in the 200 backstroke. There will be others who will be trying to go strongly as well. 400 freestyle, that will be a heat declared winner. No finals in the 400 freestyle. Maddie Markell and Maddie Hall will be doing battle 13 and 14s in the final heat in lanes 4 and 5. So they'll both be hoping for gold medals in their respective age groups, but there'll be plenty who will try and knock them off those perches. And then, as I said, we finish off with the 1500s. Julian Ockroche will be back again after his 200 backstroke to swim a 1500 free. So that's going to be a testing double for him. He'll be up against Sam Ruff in the middle of Heat 2. And others, I'm sure, will be up there as well. Adam Gibson of Geary with such a strong distance program. Charlie Braid, who was very strong in the 400 yesterday. He'll be in the mix, I'm sure, for Run 96 as well. So lots to look forward to, Lynn.
Yeah, I'm really quite excited about this. It's quite a short session, relatively. Mind you, we had a really long one this morning, didn't we? 3.5 hours, just over that. And it's an interesting little departure, really, having these 50s, because these are the only 50s that the younger swimmers get to do. Trying to steer them towards making sure that they are competing over the longer distances. But it is nice to give them an outing for the 50 free. And first up, we've got the first heat of the male and open. Charlie Line, Hamish Black, Dougal Strang, Emilian Gies, Fraser Vass, Rory Cameron, Harry Swarbrick and Rory Stevenson go in this one. Lane 4 just out in front, Emilian Gies, Aberdeen Dolphins swimmer, in the lead, and alongside him Fraser Vass, Fraser the Highland swimmer. So 2 North District swimmers going out there first, and it is a cyclically seeded heat, so we would expect these swimmers in the centre to make it to the wall first, and it looks like it is going to be 4 and 5 pretty much together. Fraser Vass just getting the touch, 26.71, 3/100ths ahead of Emilian Gies. So good improvements for them. 0.3 of a second, that's quite a lot over a 50-metre race, and Dougal Strang third, so 3 North District swimmers. Not that I'll be championing the North District at all, but look at them up at the top.
Just saying, I think is the phrase.
Just saying. Yeah.
So heat 2 there, we have the swimmers on the screen for you. Lewis Relly, Struan Henry, Ross Marshall, Andrew Liu, Daniel Combe, Francesco Orsi, Andrew Hendry and Matthew Turner. Andrew Lewis, Step Rock, I mentioned him earlier, winner in the fly yesterday. So he's got a 26.4 inch time on paper, nearly a second faster than anybody else. So we'll see whether he can live up to that in lane 4. Swimming for Step Rock, does his training at Strathallan School. Beside him in lane 5, Daniel Combe of Perth City is right there with him. But I think Andrew is maybe just starting to edge ahead in the blue cap. There's not a lot in it though, certainly not a second in it, but Andrew Liu will come through to take it. What's the time? 26.13. So that is about a quarter of a second inside his entry time and half a second faster than the first heat. So good solid second heat. Daniel Combe and Frank Orsi in third. So 2 from the east, 1 from the Midlands. Just saying.
Yes, I was Step Rock, I guess, on that borderline, is it? Must be close between
Yep,
East
so they're
and
5,
Midland,
so they're
yeah.
east. We definitely want them in the east.
Do you?
Yeah. East.
Yeah.
Step Rock, lovely club.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to suggest that you didn't. Perfect. So this is our final heat. It's going to be really quick down at the turn end there, isn't it? Ed Pearson in 1, Nathan Zarrell in 2, Daniel Rose, Brogan Smith, Yassin Hattab, Liam Hendry, Sebastian Ballantyne and Conan Kilpatrick. Well, big, strong, long arms there from the boy from Glenrothes in lane 4, Brogan Smith. So he's a body length ahead. I think this one is not going to be as close as the other heats have been. Nice purple cap to make it easy to see him as well. But it's the Glenrothes swimmer, Brogan Smith, is going to take this final heat, and that is well inside. So 25.3, that's the fastest time by quite some way. 26.85, Yassin Hattab in second place, and third time it was Daniel Rose, 27.2.
We'll need to find out whether Brogan's had his birthday yet, because the 13-year-old record, 25.27, he was only 300ths away from that. So if he's not had his birthday, we could be knocking on the door of that in the final. But that was impressive, as you say, from Brogan there. He won the East District age groups recently, touching, well, more than touching out Andrew Liu, beating him by a second. And they're going to be going head-to-head again tonight, but it's now the time for females. Again, we've got 3 heats here. And the lineup in the first of them, Amy McPhee, Sophie Haining, Ava O'Neill, Sophia Anderson, Sophia McMahon, Lily Lava, Olivia Bowler, Isabella Shaw, and Eva McCartney. 28.6, in fact, the fastest time, Sophia McMahon on paper. So she goes in lane 4 and out of the dive. She does have the edge by maybe half a metre from the swimmers either side of her. Sophia Anderson in 3 and Lily Lava in 5. So it is the Tynemouth swimmer just behind the University of Aberdeen swimmer, the two Sophias, and it is Sophia McMahon takes the win. Lily Lava, in fact, gets second ahead of Sophia Anderson. 28.42 there for
and
Sophia.
2 North District swimmers on the top, just saying. It's funny, actually, it's quite a hard meet, I think, for some of the 14-year-olds because they swim the 14 to 16 relays, and we did actually see Lily Lava and Sophia McMahon swim in the relays this morning, and then they've got their swims this afternoon, and they will be through for finals this evening as well. So 26.42, the time to beat in Heat 2. We've got Alea Amar, Ellie Brown, Emma Patterson, Eva Gordon, Maddie Hoole, Olivia Davis, Anne Jackson, Sarah McGuffey and Lula Milne go in this, our second heat, with 26.42, the time to beat for that centre lane. Now, Maddie Hoole, I think she's probably the favourite to take this heat. Youth Academy member for Warren de Bath. She was the winner in the East District age group, and her entry time came from that, so not that long ago. Red cap out in front, and she does look very strong. Can't see anybody going past her, coming in towards the wall. That was Maddie Hoole to take heat 2. Goes to Eva Gordon. So Maddie Hoole, 28.12. So 0.3 of a second faster than the previous heat, 28.76 for Eva Gordon, and third home Olivia Davis it was, 29.11.
So one more heat and the 50s will be over in a flash. There's your lineup for the third heat. Tamsin Blowfield, Ronnie Karaoke, Annie Hutchin, Charlotte Craig, Poppy McCready, Millie Searle, Katie Aitchison, Isla Russo and Abby Crabe. So 27.73 Poppy McCready's time. She did that up in Sheffield. Well, up for her, based in Guildford. Not as far up as here, though. So she matched that 27.7. 28.12, the time to beat for lane 4 in the final. So Poppy in lane 4. And comes out of the dive with the narrow lead. In fact, more than the narrow lead now. She is starting to pull away. You can see that just stretching away with every stroke now. Now about a body length. There's pretty much a line of swimmers behind her. It's going to be very, very tight for the places in the final, I think. But it's no doubt about Poppy. She's going to be there. And, well, let's see, 27.83. Yes, that is good enough for lane 4. Fastest we've seen, just a 10th away from her entry time. Expect her, well, I'm sure she'll be hoping to be faster than that tonight. But confirmation there, over a second ahead, Isla Russo, Annie Hutchin in third, Millie Hutchin in fourth, tie for fifth. Let's see how that works out in terms of the placings. But
yeah, I think we had some 28s in the previous heat, so I don't think that's going to be competing for a place in the final. But we have already had a swim-off today, haven't we? So
we have.
Let us move on now to the breaststroke already. Oh, and they're getting started straight away. We have got 6 heats of the Mellon Open 100 metres breaststroke, mix of 2 age groups. So this is the first time we'll see our 11 to 13-year-old swimmers in the water this afternoon. In lane 2, we have Zachary Pine representing Inverclyde. In lane 3, Joshua Abbott goes for Aberdeen Dolphin. Umar Amar, representing University of Aberdeen, is in lane 4. Leo Lee from City of Glasgow is in lane 5, and in lane 6, Joshua Wilson, University of Aberdeen. And finally in lane 7, Ruri Chittick, representing Shetland, is in lane 7. All of the swimmers in the 11 to 13-year age group, and there are plenty more in that age group to come. Pretty close at the front. So Umar Amar and Joshua Abbott battling it out. Alongside them, Leo Lee from City of Glasgow. And nothing to choose between these three. I think perhaps Umar Amar just nosing out in front. Or let's say that our City of Glasgow swimmer Leo Lee in lane 5, just edging ahead. It's quite a strong second length there from the Shetland swimmer over in lane 7, Ruri Chittick. Looks to be making some ground, but I think he's got a bit too much to catch up. Leo Lee, the City of Glasgow swimmer in lane 5, who looks to have this one just about in the bag. So 1:29 is entry time, and touching the wall there, 1:26.82 for Leo Lee. A good 3-second improvement there. Joshua Abbott in second place in lane 3, 1:27.42, and Umar Amar from University of Aberdeen in third place, 1:28.12. So improvements all round there.
Yeah, nice stuff in that first heat. Leo Lee looking good in the second half in particular. So we move on to heat number 2. That's your lineup: Kean Smith, Rory Lee, Tommy Kilpatrick, Jacob Leslie, Remy Burrell, Robin Hammond, Andrew Cumming, Finn Carter, Jack Kidd, and Kyle Martin. 1:27s and 1:28s the entry times here. So setting off on the 2 lengths of breaststroke. Out of the dive. Good starts on the bottom of your screen. Lanes 0, 1, 2 and 3 all fairly close, but now pushing on in lane 7 is Finn Carter of University of Aberdeen Performance, and beside him Jack Kidd from Dundee City Aquatics. So they are, I think, now emerging into the lead. Also looking quite strong is Jacob Leslie of Inverleith in lane 3. You can see there in the dark cap just next to the one with the Carnegie cap on. It's Finn Carter who leads, 39.94, and that's about a second and a half faster than the previous heat. But pushing on very well now, Jacob Leslie in lane 3. So he is certainly challenging Finn for the lead here. I think Finn still just has it, maybe by half a metre or so. Not that far away is Andrew Cumming of Forth Valley Tridents in lane 6, and others also pretty close. But Finn Carter is pushing on strong now in the second half, and it looks like he will get this bronze medalist in North Districts. And is he going to take the win? I think he is. And it's the Inverleith swimmer, Jacob Leslie, in second place, Robin Hammond in third. 1:25.43, that's a nice improvement on his entry time for Finn.
Yeah, it's good to see the swimmers improving on the time. Some of them have been swum quite recently as well. That one from Finn Carter, certainly. I believe he's an associate member of the University of Aberdeen, so a member of West Hill district, although I guess he may have moved, I'm not sure, but representing University of Aberdeen here at this meet, and a good couple of second improvement for him. Into heat 3, we've got Max Doohan, Seth Hamilton, Adam Kahn, Cameron Jupp, Elliot Winton, Noah Sutherland, Nicky Tinch, Aidan Downey, Toby Wong and Jasper Stewart go in this one. Just the one 14-year-old swimmer, Cameron Jupp, in the water. Everybody else still in the 11 to 13-year age group and looking for places in finals, because there's not that many more 13-year-olds to come. So it's our 14-year-old Cameron Jupp who has come up in the lead. Entry times range from 1:22 high out to 1:26 high, so there's a fair bit of range in the entry times, but Cameron Jupp in lane 3. Perhaps looking the 14-year-old in the field, touching first, 37.62. Adam Kahn alongside him on the spectator side here, just a tenth behind with Nicky Tinch in third place. But Cameron Jupp got quite a long, strong, smooth stroke. Adam Kahn alongside him, the Mulgai and Bearsden swimmer, now just starting to ease through into the lead for the Mulgai and Bearsden swimmer, just going past the University of Aberdeen swimmer. Between these two, I think, Adam Kahn and Cameron Jupp, with Adam Kahn just getting the better of Cameron Jupp as we come in towards the final 10 metres. It looks as though it is going to be Adam Kahn. Nicely paced race there, 1:19.98, always good to get under a new barrier. So that's a 4-second improvement for him, very impressive. And in fact, only 12 years old this year, Adam Kahn.
Yeah, very good from Adam there. It was impressive stuff, and his 1:23.95 was quite a recent time done at West District Championships, so to knock 3.5 or 4 seconds off that is good stuff. Heat number 4, though, is ready to go. The lineup is Nathan Zorrell, Angus Donald, Ross Winters, Archom Komalovs, Nico Carver, Adam Gibson, Amma Hussein Ibrahim, Logan McKenzie, Cameron Miller and Fraser Oliver. 1:17 up to 1:22, the range of entry times here. This is the first of the 3 cycle seeded heats.
Yeah, so just the one 13-year-old swimmer in the water over in lane 8, that's Cameron Miller from North Ayrshire. Nico Carver from Mingers Hill. No, he's not, he's from Monifeith. No, he's from Mingers Hill. We've got different things in here. So on one set of information I've got, he's from Monifeith and he's from...
It suggests he's probably just recently moved clubs, I would guess, and the Mingers Hill one, I think, is probably the one that's right. 35.92, Nico Carver then is off to an excellent start, leads by about 1.7 over lane 3, Archom Kermalovs, and he's just ahead of another 3 swimmers. Ross Winters in 2, Adam Gibson in 5, Amma Hussein Ibrahim in 6. And Amar is going well in lane 6, and he is pushing hard now. Not that far behind our leader, Nico Carver. But it will be Nico who will bring it in by maybe a metre. Amar second, and Archon third. 1:17.95, the winning time there for Nico. Very close to his entry time.
Yeah, I see that his entry time, 1:17.84, was swum at the Midland District Long Course meet. And it's, well, we were talking about pools earlier on this morning, weren't we? And it's great that the Midland District can now offer long course opportunities for racing and in Dundee. That's obviously worked very nicely for Nico Carver. He's pushed himself into a place for the final for this evening. And we now move on to our penultimate heat. So that's the confirmed result up there for heat 4. And we move on to heat 5. And we see Alexander Beaton from Seagulls. We have a discussion about Seagulls every time, don't we? Where is Seagulls?
Christchurch and Dorset.
So Alexander Beaton from Dorset goes in 0, Zach Neeson in 1, Max Clark 2, Adam Hesham in 3, Daniel Rose in lane 4, Emilian Gies in 5, Jack Lees in 6, Luke Todd in lane 7, Tynan Baird in lane 8, and Rhys Ferguson in lane 9. And nicely away. And a good start there in lane 2 from Max Clark, South Ayrshire swimmer. South Ayrshire quite often technically very good off the start, aren't they? And that worked nicely, but moving through now in lane 4, Daniel Rose. Daniel swim for Aberdeen Amateurs. Alongside him, Emilian Gies from Aberdeen Dolphin. These two the fastest swimmer in this heat. 1:14.7 Daniel's best time. And he was the silver medalist in the North District age groups. And taking this heat out strongly, 34.44 at halfway. And now a body length and a half, maybe 2 body lengths clear of in second place now, Emilian Gies. South Ayrshire swimmer we spoke about earlier, Max Clark in 3rd place, I would say. But Daniel Rose looking good out in front. 1:14.77 his entry time. He's going to be pretty close to that. Yeah, 1:14.38, so about a half a second off his entry time. With a back half of under 40 seconds, which is pretty impressive. 14 this year.
Yes, so confirmed result should be about to appear. There it is. 1:14.38, Max and Emilian 2nd and 3rd, both in the 1:18s. One more heat to go. And in that heat we have Lyle McKelvey for Glenrothes, Harry Stutchfield for Warrendale, Lucas Serrels of Hearts, Hayden Simpson of Mulguy and Bearsden, Brogan Smith of Glenrothes back quickly into the water after his 50-free, Dougal Strang of Highland, Jensen Buscutter of City of Glasgow, Hamish Black, South Ayrshire, Brodie Charlton of Dumfries and Thomas Fakulitz from Hearts. So 1:09 Brogan Smith's entry time, which on paper is quite a bit faster than anybody else. And he does that nice freestyle warm-up. Has got now into his stride, and straight away he is a body length clear of the rest of the field, who are most of them in a line. But this is the Brogan Smith show. East District champion, reigning National Age Group champion, winner in the Scottish Summer Meet. I'm not sure he knows what defeat is like in breaststroke. 32.86 is about a second and a half faster than the previous heat. And he leads by, what's that, over 3.5 seconds over Lucas Serrels and Hamish Black. So, well, dominance, I think you could call this. In 100 breaststroke, you don't often see a lead as big as this. Brogan Smith, there you see it, the shot off him, focused in what's going on in front of him. Got his Glenrothes logo on his shoulder, and he comes into the final few meters in impressive style, 1:11.58. So that is nearly 3 seconds faster than anything we've seen. So, well, you'd have to label hot favourite on his shoulders, I think, for tonight. 1:18.56, Lucas Serrels in second place. And third, Dougal Strang, just getting 800ths ahead of Hamish Black and Brody Chardin. It's all really close there, third, fourth and fifth and sixth. So we'll see how that works out in terms of places in the final.
Yeah, and because of the way that the heats are done with only the 14-year-olds swimming 50-frees, he'll probably actually have more rest this evening in the finals between the 50-free and the 100 breaststroke final. So that could work in his favour as well. Mind you, that 50-free, he was storming on that one as well, wasn't he? So.
Yeah, but both of them, he was slightly off his entry time, so suggesting he was leaving something a little bit in reserve. So we'll see what he can do tonight. But we move now to 200 butterfly. And in this one, we have 3 heats. Line up for the first of them, Alexis McLean of St Thomas in lane 0, Sophie Haining of Bellsill in 1, Libby Tweedy of Geary in 2, Abby Coventry of Morpeth in 3, Sophia Anderson of Tynemouth in 4, Katie Ray of Geary in 5, Holly Warburton of Preston in 6, Olivia Begbie of Warrender in 7, Phoebe McLachlan of Cumbernauld in 8. And quite a lot of these swimmers will have done the 50-free as well. And Abby Coventry is the one who leads the way, though, by about half a second. So she has the early advantage, the swimmer from Morpeth. Well known in Scotland, comes up quite a lot. Member of the Scottish Youth Academy. Did her time at the Northumberland and Durham County Championships, where she was 5th in the Sunderland pool. Next to her in lane 4 is Sophia Anderson, who we saw in the 50 freestyle, swimming well, winning her heat. So another one from south of the border, from Tynemouth, another Scot. And she was 3rd in those Northumberland and Durham County Championships. So these two swam against each other there, and doing it again here on 13.82 at halfway. And Abby still with the lead. Of course, this one is about qualifying and then the serious business tonight, but still about a metre, maybe a metre and a half's advantage for Abby. 3rd place in lane 5 is Katie Ray of Geary. So a nice diagonal across the pool with 4th place Holly Warburton of Preston. So 3 from south of the border in the top 4 here, all Scots. 1:54.02 with 50 metres to go. And see there a 40.2 from Abby, so she's pushing this pretty hard here. And is pulled away, got more than a body length's advantage now over Sophia, with Katie Ray another metre, maybe a metre and a half behind. So that's certainly looking like the 1-2-3 here. Don't think Abby will be caught. Sophia might be starting to make a bit of ground. In fact, she is making ground, I think, now. But will she catch her? It is closing as we come into the final 5. But Abby has enough in hand, takes the win, 2:36.34. So her entry time was 2:36.94, so a 6/10 improvement there. Sophia 2:36.82, Katie Ray in 3rd, 2:39.57.
So I was just looking, Duncan, we've only got 3 heats of this, and much as there are 29 swimmers, only 10 of them are 13-year-olds. So, I mean, you can't swim fly easy, or you end up, well, you can swim it easy, but you can't swim it slowly because you just sink. So it'd be quite interesting to see what kind of times these young ladies do. But like I say, there's only 10 13-year-olds, so they've just got to complete the race in order to be able to qualify for the final this evening. 14-year-olds not so, but that was a good start from Abby Coventry.
Yes, I would think that they would be being told by the coach to take it seriously, swim it as like a heat, like your place in the final depends on it, even though it doesn't. It's good discipline for them. They won't have it that way in other meets.
No, but they are still very young, and there's a 400 freestyle to come, and we spoke about the potential conflict between those events. A lot of these 200 and 400 freestyle, there is no finals this evening, so that will be for a medal for the 400 free. So, like I say, it'd just be interesting to see. There were more than 10 entries originally. It's just that it's ended up that way with the start list. But the 13-year-olds, or the 11 to 13-year-olds, should I say, we have just now is in lane 0. We've got Natalie McCullough. In lane 5, Eve Palmer, and in lane 8, Ella Craig. But it's Lulu Mill taking it out now for City of Glasgow, turning first 32.92. It's like 0.7 of a second over Eve Petrie. It doesn't actually look like that, although I think that Lulu Mill is just starting to work her way ahead. Nice long stroke there from her, breathing every 2. And occasionally everyone, or maybe a pattern of 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. But holding her form nicely there. You can see her feet coming out of the water, suggesting that she's got a nice horizontal body position, which is what you're after. 38.75 that last split, so about the same as Charlotte Craig alongside her in lane 3, 1:11.67 at halfway.
Yeah, they'll make a good contest of this, Charlotte Craig. So both 14-year-olds, both from the west of Scotland, City of Glasgow against round 96. So again, there'll be swimmers who will have competed against each other in the past. Lula Milne, silver medalist at Scottish Schools, West District short course champion, bronze in this one last year. Charlotte Craig actually is the reigning national age group champion in that age group. Also 11 to 13 last year, and she has now just edged into the lead by 500s, 1:54.78. Dropped now behind the time from the first heat.
Now, I'm not convinced that the time from Lula Milne registered on the board there. Right. I think maybe that was her feet, because I did think she touched first, but there wasn't a lot in it at that turn. But Lula Milne now moving ahead through on the final length. That's fading a little bit towards the end of the length. And we did see that this morning as well, didn't we? Some swimmers that had gone out quite hard, tiring towards the end. But I think Lula Milne is going to take this race, and that will be the second heat. Ooh, on the touch there, 2:36.54 Lula Milne, 2:36.70 Charlotte Craig, and that was on the nod of the head really. Sky Petrie in third place, 2:38.62. So
Sky.
Eve Palmer, the first of the 13-year-old swimmers there on 2:41.15.
Yeah, suggestion there that Eve maybe was taking it fairly steadily there, with an entry time of 2:35, so 2:41 for her. So we expect her to be faster tonight.
And she is indeed swimming in the 400 free, and it's not really that long until the 400 free. So that's 2 of our 200 metres butterfly. And I'm quite interested to see how Millie Searle approaches this. She's won both of the 200 metre events that we've had so far, the 200 back and the 200 breaststroke. Interesting to see how she turns that on for the 200 metres butterfly.
Yes, she's up against a strong competitor, Katie Aitchison, a very strong fly swimmer, so we'll be interesting to see how this one works out. Full lineup: Lillian Blair of Finns in 0, Taya Laidlaw of Dumfries in 1, Emily Taylor of South Lanarkshire in 2, Rebecca Mailing of Bellshill in 3, Katie Aitchison of Warrender in 4, Millie Searle of Geary in 5, with her teammate Ava Smith in 6, Grace Taylor of Afford Otters in 7, Charlotte Shanks of Bellshill in 8, and Reva Wang from City of Glasgow in lane 9. So out of the dive, and it is the centre lanes, as you would expect, taking it out. Katie in the red cap and Millie in the blue. Not too much between them, but a slight advantage with Katie. So Katie is the reigning East District and Scottish Schools champion, winner in the Scottish Summer Meet as well. And she has got maybe nearly a meter's advantage. 32.30 is the fastest 50 split we've seen. Millie about a second behind her, and Ava Smith in third, so the two Geary swimmers. Also not far away is Rebecca Mailing for Bells Hill. So those three in a line, but quite a long way behind Katie Aitchison now, who is taking this one out very strongly. So she's obviously been told to go for this one, certainly in the first half. We'll see what she does in the second half. But Katie has built herself a very nice lead here. 1:10.06, and that's a second and a half faster than the previous heat. Ava Smith now has moved into second place, a second and a half up on Rebecca Mayling. Millie Searle pretty much with Rebecca. So these four well clear. I think all four pretty much guaranteed spots in the final.
Well, you were right to point out there about Katie Aitchison. It's looking very smooth coming in towards the final turn. But Ava Smith, though, swimming really well. I say I wouldn't expect her to die towards the end. We're used to seeing her swimming these distance events and the hard events as well. But Katie Aitchison looking very strong out in front.
Yeah, so Ava Smith, I think, has second pretty much sewn up. Still a bit of a contest for third, but the advantage is with Millie Searle over Rebecca Mayling. The 13-year-olds in this one. We've got one 12-year-old as well. Quite a few 13-year-olds, so we'll see how they work out as well. But it's going to be Katie Aitchison in the 14-year-olds who will bring this in with a big margin to spare. Over 5 meters, 2:29.18. Wow, look at that. That is nearly 4 seconds inside her entry time. So doing that in the heats, I wonder what she's going to do in the final.
Rebecca Mayling, I think, struggling just towards the end. Millie Searle went through to take the third place in that one.
So Emily Taylor, the top of the 13-year-olds in that one with a 2:46. Taya.
I think Grace Taylor actually went faster.
Oh yes, so she did 2:45. How does that work out? She's
I don't know.
Must be a backup time has been installed, I would think.
It could be that lane 7 Gremlin.
Yeah, I think probably that. So that was a nice swim from Grace. Entered on 2:45.30, so matching that. So she'll be right up there in the 11 to 13s for the 12-year-old.
And she is just 11.
Wow.
So not 12 until later on in the year.
So just waiting for that result to be confirmed. That's just taking a little while. But hopefully there's nothing amiss. Just sorting out some times. We had that issue with lane 7. And there we go. We're all good. And confirming Katie, Ava and Millie, the 1, 2, 3.
So some backstroke now.
Yeah, let's do some backstroke.
I'll just watch if it's okay by you. Right, so we've got 6 heats of backstroke, 200 metres backstroke event for the Mellon Open. 2 age groups again, 11 to 13 and 14-year-old swimmers, all mixed up in these 6 heats. In this heat 1 we see Alex Yeaman from Perth City. In lane 1 it's Milo Hampton-Turner, Warren Bath Club. Lane 2, Umar Amar, University of Aberdeen. In lane 3, Tommy Kilpatrick from Carnegie. In lane 4, it's Archie Flaws from South Mainland. In 5, Josh Reed, Ren 96. In lane 6, Daniel McClellan goes for University of Aberdeen. In 7, Kyle Martin swims for City of Glasgow. In 8, Ethan Roddy, City of Glasgow. And in lane 9, Finn Carter, University of Aberdeen. It seems like Finn's only just got out of the water. So pretty close down the first length. Maybe it is lane 4, Archie Flaws. South Mainland perhaps just in front. So South Mainland, that's quite a trek down, isn't it, for the teams from Shetland. They have got a composite team that they work with sometimes, but mostly they compete as individual clubs, South Mainland being one of them, Shetland, we've got Lerwick, and Delting, of course, Delting Dolphin. We've been enjoying watching Julian Ockrodge. He's been swimming well. Just working well, though, in lane 1. It's Milo Hampton-Turner from Warren Bath Club. Perhaps just gone past Archie Flaws.
So up to halfway. And it does look like it's going to be Milo, another youngster, a 12-year-old. And he does lead 1:20.61. Had a very successful East District age groups. There they swim as 11-12s as an age group, and he pretty much dominated that age group at East Districts. And going nicely here, although he's going to have to work to hold off the swimmers in the centre lane. So maybe just coming at him now, led by Archie Floors, the South Mainland swimmer, with Josh Reed beside him. And over at lane 9 as well, keep your eye on Finn Carter. He is going well once again. So the 4 of them right across the pool. See who's going to get the touch. Is it still going to be Milo? Let's see. No, it's Archie. Well, no time coming up for Milo. So, yeah, to my mind, it was Milo.
He was certainly over first, but I think he touched the wall first as well, and he's working hard down this last leg. You can see he's starting to tire, but his legs, you get nearly no splash from his kick at all. That means he's going to have to work particularly hard in order to be able to get some propulsion through the water. But he is managing to do that. But Archie Floors coming through, and alongside him in lane 5, Josh Reed from Ren 96, also making a move down this final length. And perhaps the momentum with Josh Reed as we come in towards the finish in lane 5. Josh Reed, is he just going to get there? I think he might. Very so close at the end. Milo just getting the touch there. 2 100ths, 2:46.41 for Milo, 2:46.43. Finn Carter, in fact, in lane 9. So all change through those last few metres.
Yeah, but Milo did well to hang on to the win there and showed a lot of guts, and that's nearly 2 seconds.
I thought Josh Reed touched first.
Okay, well, we'll just check that that is the confirmed result. I must admit, I think I would have given it to Milo, but we'll see what the confirmed result says. It was so close, though, 200ths. Yeah. You can't really call that by the eye, I don't think.
No, so we will see what the pads had to say and what the referees have got to say about that finish order and the times.
They're obviously thinking about it here. It's just taking a little while to come up.
Improved entry times, though.
Oh, you're right. That has changed.
I didn't think it was quite that much, but Josh Reed taking the win there, 2:46.09. He did have the momentum, I think, through the final half a length or so. He was working really hard for that. So he just gets the touch from Milo. So we're on to Heat 2. Heat 2 already. In lane 0, Theo Edmondson West from Wickham District. In lane 1, Aaron Graham, North Ayrshire. In 2, Cole Gray from Finns. Lane 3, Oliver Peel, Geary. In lane 4, Rhys Ferguson, Ren 96. In lane 5, Felix Broom, South Ayrshire. Lane 6, Kyle McQuaker from Kintyre. In lane 7, Ethan King, Ren 96. 8, Guy Johnson from Heart of Midlothian. And in lane 9, Ben Hemmings from Stranraer. Ren 96 doing well at the meet. Quite a long way up in the points tables for the clubs. Perhaps been a bit off the pace last few years, but looking to perhaps be coming back.
Yeah, I definitely feel that there's a bit of momentum in the Wren team at the moment, so which is nice to see. And Rhys Ferguson is part of that, and he is up to a good start. So is Guy Johnson from Hearts up in lane 8. I think they're going to be 1 and 2 at the 50 turn. In fact, Oliver Peel just getting a second by 500ths from Guy Johnson, but Rhys Ferguson leading 35.40. Winner at the West Districts on course, and that is nearly 3 seconds faster than the first heat for the first 50. Oliver Peel of Geary is certainly now clear in second and maybe pushing into third now. South Ayrshire's Felix Broom in lane 5, although Guy Johnson's not far away from it, and also going well in lane 1, Aaron Graham of North Ayrshire. But you can see them coming into the wall there, with Rhys with the dark cap and Oliver with the yellow, 1:15.76 and 1:16.59. And then exactly a second to Felix Broom in third place. Oliver Peel is sticking pretty close to Rhys Ferguson here. On paper, there is about 1.1 between the two of them. Oliver did his time taking bronze at North Districts, and he's almost alongside Reese now. So you can see there just how close they are as they come up towards the third turn. Who gets the touch? Oh, nothing in it really. 400s. 157.92.
That's not much more than a toenail, really, Duncan, is it? At Reese Ferguson and Oliver Peel. Well, I'm not going to call that one yet. Mind you, I did get it right in the last one, didn't I?
You did, so call it. Go on.
Well, I'm going
Be
lane,
a devil.
I'm going lane 4 then. I'm going Reese Ferguson.
Yeah, it looks like he just has the strength, I think, in the latter stages here just to start edging. In fact, he's more than just edging it now. He's up by a metre. Oliver Peel will try and bring that back, but Reese has got this one sorted. He withstood the attack down the third length and now comes through to take the win, 2:38.16. That's a nice 3-second improvement for him. Oliver Peel also well inside his entry time. His entry time 2:42, takes that down to 2:38.9. Felix Broom in third place. So just wait for that to be confirmed. Felix also inside his entry time.
So again, a few delays on the times. I think sometimes the swimmers touch quite softly at the end of a backstroke race because their legs have stopped working. Yeah, so we're just waiting on confirmation of that result, but it looked as though it was Reese Ferguson and then Oliver Peel and Felix Broom. So just waiting for confirmation from the referees for that.
Yes, you always worry slightly when there is a long delay as to whether there's a DQ coming in, but no, there isn't, so that's good. So it's Reese, Oliver and Felix, the 1, 2, 3. All very close there. You can see the number of swimmers on 2:43s there from 5th through to 8th. So maybe it was in there that the discussion was going on. But on to heat number 3. And we have Robin Hammond of Warrender in 0, Dougal Strang of Highland in 1, Callan Chesser of City Glasgow in 2, Lennox Spalding of Carnegie in 3, Kieran Naismith of Bells Hill in 4, 2 from South Ayrshire, Hamish Black in 5, Max Clark in 6, Lucian Burrell of Glenrothes in 7, Olivier Bialonsky of Aberdeen Dolphin in 8, and Fraser Oliver of Carnegie in lane 9. Entry times 2:37 up to 2:40. So lane 4, the Bells Hill swimmer, Kieran Naismith, looks to just have the advantage coming down the first length.
So I'd see, and I'm looking on your, for those of you that don't know, Duncan prepares a crib sheet so that we can know where people have performed their times and where they have won medals and things like that. And I see on this one for Kieran Naismith it says FVP1. Is that the Forth Valley Pre-Snags meet? Oh, splendid! Yeah. So he was the winner of the Forth Valley Pre-Snags meet. I don't know. He may have even swum the time that would qualify him for that at that meet. But he was 9th in Scottish Schools as well. So that's a very competitive meet that we held in Aberdeen in January early this year, but he's looking good at the halfway mark, turning 1:15.44.
Yeah, people coming up from the Central Belt had to brave the weather to get up to Aberdeen for that one. That was quite exciting, going up and back down again. But
well, we like to say, yeah, we'll save the sun for the summer, Duncan. You know,
yeah.
Let's have a bit of snow in the winter.
So it's all very good here. 4 and 6 taking the pace here. Kieran Naismith, as we said, against Max Clark of South Ayrshire. Max, in fact, was ahead of Kieran in West Districts, 5th and 6th respectively. Let's see who's got the touch, and it is Max this time by 2/10, 1:55.51. We're about 2 seconds faster than the previous heat, a bit more. But a good head-to-head going on here. Another one for you to call, Lynn. The third place, I think, is fairly straightforward. That's Lennox Spalding in lane 3. Oh, no, it's not. It's lane 0. I said that was straightforward. I was completely wrong. Robin Hammond in 0, going very nicely. But who's going to get the win at the front here? Looks like the edge is with Max in lane 6. And and he is going to take it. A stretch into the wall and touches 2:33.87. Another nice improvement. Entered 2:38, so it takes 5 seconds nearly off his entry time. Kieran 2:34.51, so that's also a nice improvement over 3 seconds. And are we going to get a quick confirmed result? Or are we not?
No, I think there was an issue with lane 0. Oh, there we go.
And it was Robin Hammond from lane 0, 2:38.01. And that's a nice improvement as well of over 2 seconds for him.
Yeah, good to see. So we'll move on to our cyclically seeded heats now, where I think the technical term is that they all get mixed about, don't they? Mashed up and spat out again. There's many more rules than that, but that's pretty much what it looks like. So in our 4th heat, we have Caleb Gray going for Finns in 0. Lane 1, Daniel Coombe for Perth City. In lane 2, Andrew Lew, Step Rock. Lane 3, Sam Ruff from City of Glasgow. In lane 4, Brogan Smith, Glen Rothes. Lane 5 sees Liam Hendry in the water for North Ayrshire. Ross Winters goes in 6 for East Lothian. In 7, Luke Todd, Forth Valley Tridents. In lane 8, Thomas Vakliux from Heart of Midlothian. And in lane 9, Aidan Downey, University of Aberdeen. Well, that's a long stroke. Oh, it's Brogan Smith again.
Swim number 3 for Brogan.
Number 3, and look, he's in the same place as he's been with all of the other swims that he's had. And that breaststroke was pretty impressive, wasn't it? But yeah, he's obviously just as accomplished on the backstroke. His entry time is 6 seconds faster than anybody else in the water at the moment, although there are faster swimmers to come. 32.99 at the 50-metre mark. And he was the winner of the East District age groups. I see that his entry time.
Yeah, he just had a magnificent East District age group sprint across the board. Andrew Lew gave him a run for his money in some of the events, but mainly it was Brogan in that age group. And he is looking good here at the halfway. He won't have it all his own way in his finals because there's some really fast swimmers to come in the next couple of heats, but he will set the standard here. 1:11.40, leads by exactly 2 seconds from Ross Winters of East Lothian. Ross going quite nicely there, and we'll see whether he can sustain the challenge here. He was 4th in those East District age groups, so a few places down from Brogan. Over in lane 8, Thomas Vakulitz, another one from the East, just saying. And here's the Hart swimmer.
Yes, in fact, I was lying through my teeth when I was talking about him being 6 seconds faster than anybody else. I was looking at the times of the next heat. So you're right. I mean, he's going to have a battle on his hands to get medals and certainly atop the podium, if you like, in the finals this evening. But yeah, that purple Glen Rothes cap out in front yet again. It's good to see.
But not by that much now. Maybe those 2 heats swims he's already had is getting to him, or maybe he's just conserving his energy, because it looks like Daniel Combe is going through and is right there with him, might just get the touch from him. I think he's going to. Ooh, close. Well, no, the touch, in fact, going to Brogan. 800ths from Daniel, who really pushed it hard down that last 50. So Daniel Combe there, 2:34.22 entry time, takes that down to 2:30. Certainly wasn't a bad swim from Brogan. He was close to his entry time of 2:29.08 and so pushed it out, but then just eased back. And maybe that was deliberate. It has had, as we said, a really busy afternoon program. Again, we're just waiting for the confirmed results.
And he will get longer in the finals for recovery. Because we only had 3 heats of the 200 metres butterfly, and we'll have 5 finals of the 200 metres butterfly.
Yes.
So a little bit longer to recover.
So there is confirmation. Brogan Smith first, Daniel Combe second, Ross Winters in third. 2:29.92 winning time there, so within a second of his entry time.
So moving on to heat number 5 then. Conan Kilpatrick for Carnegie in lane 0, Cameron Jupp, University of Aberdeen in 1. Nate Uppington goes in lane 2 for Ren 96. Fraser Vass in lane 3, Highland Swim Team. Daniel Letham in 4 for Cumbernauld. In lane 5, Matthew Turner, Warrender Baths Club. 6, Nathan Zarrell from Dumfries. In lane 7, Andrew Fernando, Warrender Baths Club. In lane 8, Logan Mackenzie, Ren 96, and Glenn Geddes goes in lane 9 for University of Aberdeen. And it was in fact Daniel Letham's time that I was looking at previously, which is 6 seconds faster than anybody else in the water, and he looks very comfortable out in front. It's nice to see Cumbernauld doing well. I think they're having a bit of a resurgence. I know that they were not competing as Cumbernauld in years gone by because they were part of a North Lanarkshire team with others, but they're actually doing very well out on their own. Actually, Bells Hill Sharks as well, another North Lanarkshire team competing independently. But Daniel Letham is looking very impressive, isn't he?
Yes, so he is certainly taking it out strong. West District champion, Scottish Schools champion, silver medalist here last year. So he will. Oh, purple seems to be a bit of a theme for caps this year. We've seen quite a few purple caps. Certainly make it distinctive, easy to spot in the pool. And Daniel 1:10.53 is about 0.8 faster than we saw from Brogan in the previous heat.
But it was a much faster second 50 because Brogan went out really hard on the first 50. And of course we're now seeing 2 pink caps, which is really flooring me. I mean, Forth Valley Tridents and Dundee City in bright Barbie pink. I mean, I love that. But yeah, the purple caps, don't remember seeing so many purple caps before, but I like them. Or lilac, are they lilac or purple?
Lilac, yeah. And then we got the bright orange of Stranraer. This was very striking. In the east we see Eyemouth in the orange as well, but of course they swim as part of Borders here and are much more restrained in their cap choice. But no doubt about it, Daniel Letham bossing this one. And the race is about second place. Lane 3 is Fraser Vass. Lane 6 is Nathan Zarrell. And it's between those two as we zoom in on Daniel coming down the final length. Love to see those close-ups, just of that control over the body position and the stillness of the body as the arms do all the work and the legs. 2:25.98. So, job done there.
And he looked very easy, actually. He almost looked as though he was trying to slow down. I'm quite surprised when you look at the time how close he is to his best time. Because that did look very comfortable indeed. It'll be really interesting to see what he can do tonight. But he's, again, not, as you say, not going to have it all his own way, because we've got Julian Ockrodge coming up next in lane number 4, and we've seen him swim well. So that, again, we're waiting a little while for a confirmed result. I don't think there's any doubt about the finish order, more perhaps about the times that the referees are just making sure that they tally with exactly what they're seeing up on the board. But 1:25.98 we're confident about for Daniel Letham, and we're confident Fraser Vass finished second and Matthew Turner third.
It's gone very quiet here in the pool as everybody waits. There's always that little bit of nervousness when the times don't come up quickly. I'm pretty sure I swam legally. I can't think I did anything wrong. And no, of course, nobody did. Only a 10th in the end between Fraser and Nathan there. 2:28.68, 2:28.78 in second and third. So on to the final heat of this 200 backstroke. We have Alex Jacovides for Inverclyde in 0. Blair Tetlow of Geary in 1. Archon Kumalovs of University of Aberdeen Performance in 2. Archie Lawson, Sterling Swimming in 3. Julian Ockrodge of Delting in 4. Harry Swarbrick of Carnegie in 5. Struan Henry of Dumfries in 6. Oren MacLeod of Tridents in 7. Blair Hope of Reed School in 8. And Jack Kivlahan of Ren 96 in lane 9. So straight away, it's Julian taking it out here. So Julian, silver medalist in North District ages. I guess the 14 swim with the 15-year-olds, am I right?
We do dual age band. I like dual age bands, as you know, Duncan. It gives everybody the chance to be in the top half of the band and everybody the chance to be in the bottom half of the band. So it's not always the same swimmers that win each time. For some it will be, but yeah, we have a 14, 15-year age band, and that would have been why he came second. But he's looking good out there, isn't he?
He is. 31.84 was over a second half faster than anything we've seen so far. And well, Julian has it all in hand, you would think. Again, get that chance to see him. I don't know what the pool is like at Delting. Have you been to the Delting pool?
I haven't been to the Delting pool.
I imagine it's not a huge one.
I imagine it's not. I mean, South Mainland, I know, swim in a 16 2/3 metres or something like that. I'm not sure. I will have to ask his coach, Graham Farmer, how big the pool is. And they do have 25-metre pools. You know,
yeah.
we do have running water and things like that on our islands.
But
there's
obviously a lot of oil money went into infrastructure in Shetland. There's a beautiful pool in Lerwick. Yes.
And I'm sure that Julian will train there some of the time, but most of the time he's with his club and his, like I say, his home coach, Graham Farmer, with the Delting team. But he looks very, very, very good out in front there, doesn't he? He's coming on an entry time of 2:21.40. I mean, sometimes relaxing can make it work, you know, and he does look very relaxed out in front, but he's got, well, how big's that advantage? 10 metres.
Yep, nice scrap going on for second place. Lane 6 is Drew and Henry, and just behind him is Harry Swarbrick in lane 5 and Oren McLeod in lane 7. But again, we get that close up. Just see how he breathes there as he opens his mouth to breathe. Has crashed into the wall there. He's probably could work on that finish a little bit. But yeah, job done. 2:20.82 inside his entry time. So no hanging about from Julian there.
And you know what? He looked very easy.
Yeah.
He looked very easy, very smooth, very relaxed. I guess that's the way to do it if he's done the work back at home, and he obviously has.
Yes. So that was a good one. Second place, Harry Swarbrick just getting past Drew and Henry at the end there. 2:28.1, 2:28.56 with Oren McLeod just behind them. 2:28.84.
Be interesting to see who makes the final in that and what difference it makes, because we have had a lot of busy boys this afternoon, haven't we? Actually, a lot of busy girls as well, particularly in the 14-year age group. And when you consider that some of those girls in particular were competing in the relays this morning, that's a very long day for them with a lot of work. And quite a broad range as well, you know, because there was that 200 fly, 400 free, 50 free for goodness sake, and a 100 free in the relays this morning. So now on to the 400 metres freestyle for females. 11 to 14 year olds, so 11 to 13 year age group and 14 year age group. No finals for this one. There will be finals from this morning's heats of the 400 free, but the 11 to 14 year olds, well, it's a heat declared for them. So in this, our first heat, Ellie Thompson representing Shetland goes in lane 2. Ayla Wilson from Perth City in lane 3. Tilly Wilson from Annick Dolphins in lane 4. I was just having a chat with the Annick Dolphins coach. Lovely she is. Sylvie McNichol from Glenrothes goes in lane 5. I say that because she said she was going to listen. Casey Crisp from South Lanarkshire goes in lane 6, and Grace Taylor from Aphrodota goes in lane 7. And there's 2 races going on, really, isn't there?
Yes, at the front, Ayla Wilson in lane 3, beside her Tilly Wilson, so 2 Wilson contests, and Casey Crisp in lane 5, 109.31, Ayla with the touch, Perth City swimmer. But not too much between these 3. So all of these swimmers in the 12-13 age group, plenty more to come. But it is Ayla in the red cap of Perth, edging it still as they come up to the 150. Let's see what her... Look, you see there on the left-hand side of the times, you can see the times for the 50s. And you see not too much separating, 38.09, 38.19, 38.05. So all in the vicinity of just over the 38. And, well, so far as we come up to halfway, maybe the two Wilson girls just slightly getting away from Casey in lane 6. Coming up to halfway, only slightly. There's less than a metre between those two and Casey. So Tilly Wilson there putting in a good shift, just 300ths behind Ayla now, 2:25.94 at halfway.
I'm not calling that one, Duncan.
I'll ask you again in another few metres' time. But certainly the two Wilson swimmers, I thought that maybe Casey was slipping away, but, well, she's got other ideas about that. She is sticking to it. Then in that other race, it's advantage to lane 5, Sylvie McNichol, but they are quite a long way back from this leading trio. You can see still just 4/10 between them. Ayla making a little bit of a move there. 38.3 was the fastest 50 split there. Can she start to push it on and put the pressure on the other two? And can they respond if the pressure is put on? Certainly it looks like Tilly can respond. So Tilly, a Scot from Alnwick. So we talked about swimmers from just south of the border. Quite a few from Northumberland and Durham area. Look at that, Casey, in fact, having a cracking 50 there, and she's moved through. Look at that, 37.4. And she moves into the lead, 3:42.10. So...
Well, she's got the bit between the teeth now,
well,
hasn't she?
I was going to say she has, but has she gone too early? Will the others come at her? Or will she hold this and move away? Certainly Casey is the one who has set the question, and can the two Wilson girls answer it? That is the question now as we come to the final turn. It is looking pretty good for Casey at this stage. A 38.0 for her, again faster than we've seen. She's now got a lead of over a second, 4:20.12. Are you prepared to call it now, Lynn?
Yes. Casey for me. I mean, I think she just turned the kick on, didn't she, into the final 100, and yeah, I think that's when it happened, wasn't it? It was out that turn, the last turn that we had down at the turn. And although, having said that, just when you speak, there's Ayla Wilson really motoring inside that final 10. Wow. So that was a really fast final split there from Ayla, a full second faster than Casey Crisp. But just a little bit too late, I think another 5 metres and that would have been it. But 4:56.48, 4:56.74, so 0.3 of a second difference. And inside the 5 minute, always good to break those barriers. And another, Tilly Wilson also inside the 5 minute mark. Really good swimming.
Yes, so all three of them inside their own time. So was Sylvie McNichol by about a second. So good stuff there. But as you say, that 5 minutes is one of those markers that you lay down for yourself.
It's a proper grown-up time, that's what it is.
Confirmation there of the Heat 1 result, and we get ready for Heat number 2. The lineup is Ailsa Chand of South Lanarkshire in 0, Ella Craig of Ren 96 in 1, Belle Adamson of Carnegie in 2, Ruby Hunter of South Lanarkshire in 3, Phoebe Simpson of Geary in 4, Robin Maxwell of Dumfries in 5, Ellie Carnegie of St Thomas in 6, Katie Ray of Geary in 7, Lucy Karsler of Warrender in 8, and Ava O'Neill of Carnegie in lane 9. So we've got Carnegie not swimming for Carnegie, and one who is swimming for Carnegie, Ava O'Neill. You see what I mean?
Yeah, so I was very confused, but I looked at the start sheets, and yes, I understand it now. Nice start there in lane 6 from one of those Carnegies, Ellie Carnegie, representing St Thomas, taking it out strongly through this first 50, first of 8. As I was looking at Phoebe Simpson, she took out the 400 IM yesterday very strongly on the fly, and also earlier. I used to swim with her mum. It's not that her mum is old like me. Her mum is still quite young, but I swam with her mum when her mum was young and I was old. So I love seeing swimming families and things like that. It's a really strong community that we've got, and you tend to find children in the water, you would know their parents because they swam or because they coached and things like that. And it's a really strong community that we've got. And like I say, so Phoebe is a swimmer that I take an interest in because of that. But it's Ellie Carnegie at the moment, 1:10.38, nothing in it at the halfway mark there between her and Phoebe Simpson in second. Robin Maxwell doing well.
Thing I like on that was last weekend up here in Aberdeen we had Masters long course competition, and there it was the children coming to watch their parents swim, so a bit of a turnaround from what you normally see, so that was nice to see as well. And just making your point about the families, and a lot of those children who were watching their parents were themselves swimmers. So here we go then through the 150. Phoebe Simpson now has got into the lead as Ellie Carnegie just drops back to third place with Ella Craig in between them in second. So a nice split there from Phoebe. So representing Kiri, we've mentioned Kiri quite a lot over the course of the day. In lane 1 is Ella Craig, so Ren 96 just making that point about Ren 96 again. Third, Ella at West Districts. And she is looking pretty strong there in lane 1. Let's just see, is she going to have the lead? I think she is. Yep, by half a second, 2:27.01. Not quite as fast as the first heat, so let's see whether they pick it up in the second half. But at the moment, well, it does look like Ella Craig has picked it up. She is making a big move here and has pulled fair way clear of Phoebe, who has either side of her Ruby Hunter and Robin Maxwell.
Yeah, we don't get a full list of splits, but I think that's a really strong back end there from Ella Craig. It's obviously a tactic, shall we say, or maybe it's just that inexperience. With a coach saying, well, actually, do you know what, don't go all out on the first half of it. Just ease through that first half, maybe build on it, and then really go for it to the second half of the race. There's not that many opportunities, as we've discussed, to swim 400 metres, particularly long course. And she's done this really, really nicely, timed it very well, and she's pulling ahead even further.
And still, of course, got another 100 to go after this turn, so she did go and pushed on very early, really, from the 150 turn. So now at the 300, she'll want to keep this going now at this pace. So a 37.8 split there. She goes 3:42.36. So just comparing that with where she was before, that was a bit slower than her previous 100, but not by a huge amount. And she's certainly got this heat sorted out. So Ella is one of the 13-year-olds. Still quite a few to come in that age group, so nothing will get decided here, but she is going to lay down a marker for them, because with 4:20 with 50 to go, you see a 37 split here. She's, you would think, going to be similar, probably similar sort of time to Casey Crisp in the previous heat. She was a 4:56. Expect maybe something around that mark here. Ella Craig's entry time 5:02. Certainly you would expect her to be comfortably under the 5 minutes here. Second place now is lane 5, Robin Maxwell. She's had a good second half. As we hone in now on the leader, and Ella in 4:56.62, so very similar time to Casey Crisp in the first heat. Close. Well, we're just waiting for time to come up for Robin Maxwell. In fact, there it is. Did Bella Anderson get in front of her? She must have done. I was too focused on Ella Craig there. So if she did, that was a cracking finish there.
Looking at the splits on that last one, Robin did fade towards the end. So not managing to do a fast last 50, which when we look up on the board, nearly everybody has got a green time up there. just saving a little bit for the end. And then the intent really is to balance out the event. Oh, there we go. She didn't. You're quite right.
Yep.
She was second. Yeah.
So we'll just see that come up in the board any moment now, but we should see, yes, Robin Maxwell there, 500.4, and Belle Adamson third, 503.4.
That's one each then, Duncan, isn't it? 2 heats to go. And then we've got 2 heats of 1,500 metres freestyle.
Hooray!
I was going to say joy.
Yeah, deep joy.
Deep joy, deep joy. Right, heat number 3 then. In lane 0, Olivia Bowler, Heart of Midlothian. Lane 1, Esme Anderson, University of Aberdeen. In lane 2, Anna Jackson, Kinross. Lane 3, Emma Patterson, City of Glasgow. Lane 4, Sky Petrie, Monifif. Lane 5, Amy Horsburgh, Glen Rothes. In lane 6, Eve Palmer, Forth Valley Trident. Lane 7, Emmeline Eales from Kingston Royals. And lane 8, Eva Gordon, City of Glasgow. Lane 9, Megan Ferris from Cumbernauld. And still some more 13-year-olds even after this heat. Emmeline Eales, just 12 this year, the Kingston Royal swimmer, but she is a Scot. So Sky Petrie, where we've already seen her in the 200 metres butterfly, haven't we? Just taking it out there, Moni Feith swimmer. So entry times in this heat are around and about 5 minutes. So those in the centre lanes are inside and those in the outer lanes are outside. And it is a lovely V formation there, isn't it, that we've got across the pool. Well, more of a horseshoe really, but fastest in the centre on entry times. And Sky Petrie turning first there, 1:08.62 after 100 metres.
So shaping up to be a pretty good competitive heat, this one. Sky perhaps a metre up on the swimmers either side of her, Emma Patterson and Amy Horsburgh. One from City of Glasgow and one from Glen Rothes, just behind the Monifith swimmer. Sky winner short course at Midland age groups and second long course. 1:46.55, leads by, what's that, 36 hundredths. But a 37.9 against 37.4 for Amy Horsburgh. So Amy making a bit of a move now in lane 5. East District bronze medalist, Amy. And she is just edged into the lead now, but not by much. And then you've got lanes 2 and 3 side by side. Anna Jackson and Emma Patterson. Anna Jackson's having a pretty good meet. Mentioned her a few times in commentary over the last couple of days. But it's Amy Horsburgh at the halfway mark to 23.93, and that is about 3 seconds faster than the previous heat and 2 seconds faster than the first heat. Amy with a sort of quite a slow but powerful stroke. It's obviously effective because she is pulling away. Is that very much a distance swimmer's stroke?
Well, they come in all shapes and sizes, don't they? All sorts of different forms. I mean, there's sometimes when you look at a swimmer and you think, oh yeah, that would definitely suit a longer race. But then you look at, you know, some of the best swimmers that we've had in the world, and they're quite scrappy. And you think, well, how on earth could you be so fast? And if you could just swim with proper technique, you'd be amazing. But it's obviously what works for them. But yeah, that's very long. I mean, you can see her arms stretching right out in front, and she's pulling all the way back to her thighs.
It's getting the job done because she is pulling away here in this third 100. So that distinctive red Glen Rothes badge on the black cap. And here she comes into the 300-metre turn, 3:38.45, now about 4 seconds faster than the previous heat. Her entry time, Amy, is 4:54, so she was about a 1:10.5 for that last heat. So she should be inside that, looking maybe around the 3:50, hopefully inside 3:50. Good tight contest going on for second. Lane 4 is the early leader, Sky Petrie, and lane 6, Eve Palmer from Forth Valley Tridents. Eve up from Hampshire to swim. I think from memory, Portsmouth North Sea, but I wouldn't swear to that. Is where she does her home swimming. It's certainly Hampshire. But nice to have her up here. Also coming up strongly in lane 2 now is Anna Jackson. So we've got a right old scramble for second place, but they're all behind Amy Horsburgh, who will certainly lead this one in. I feel pretty confident about calling the winner in this one, as Amy up to 5 meters out and bringing it in 4:52.50. So that is a couple of seconds inside her entry time. Nicely judged swim. Fairly even paced in that last 100, 36.3. You see Sky Petrie putting in a strong finish, so did Anna Jackson. Oh, they're coming in 4:54.9, 4:55.5, and then very close as well, Eve Palmer, 4:55.59.
So Eva leading 13-year-old just now, 4:55.59. The time for the remaining 13-year-olds to beat, and there are 4 of them. They all have entry times that are faster, and a fair bit faster than that 4:55. So one would perhaps expect Eve to be nudged out, but she set them a creditable time anyway, to be in with a shout of a medal. This is our final heat. In lane 0, Amy Rimmer, representing Bells Hill. In lane 1, Charlotte Craig, Ren 96. In lane 2, we have Gracie Brooke from Hamilton, and that's Hamilton Aquatics in Dubai, not in South Lanarkshire. In lane 3, Rebecca Mailing from Bells Hill. 4, Maddie Markell, Guildford City. Lane 5, Maddie Hoole, Warrington Bath Club. In lane 6, Ava Smith for Geary. Lane 7, Berin Asari Cock from Hamilton Aquatics. In lane 8, Sarah McGuffey, City of Glasgow. And in lane 9, Emily Taylor from South Lanarkshire. We've seen quite a few of these swimmers on the podium already, haven't we, in a whole range of different events. But Maddie Markell has had a great meet so far. And just 13.
Yeah, very impressive youngster. So delighted that she has decided she wishes to swim as a Scot. 4:33, her entry time is 10 seconds faster than Maddie Hall. She did that time at Sheffield at the Premier Meet. That's quite a recent time. I think just at the beginning of March or thereabouts. She was just 6th in this event last year, but of course she was only a 12-year-old then. So she'll be looking to add to her gold bling to take back down to the southeast. Just edging it now as they come down towards the 150 turn. It was Maddie Hall who had the touch, 105.82 at the 100, but I think she has been overtaken now. Maddie Markell through in 141.48, up by 8/10 now over Maddie Hall. So not often you get a Maddie versus Maddie contest. Maddie Hall, East District champion, Scottish Summer Meet champion, and she goes in the 14. So both of them, I think, will be eyeing up gold medals here, but slightly unusually, it's the younger swimmer who has the advantage over the older one.
I've just got a lovely message through from Richard McLaughlin. He's the head coach at Geary, to say the pool in Delting is a 16 2/3 pool. So we were wondering about that for Julian Ockrodge, wasn't we? That's quite remarkable, really, when you think about it. 16 2/3 pool for Delting. And Richard has been up there and coached a few sessions. So that's the answer.
Thank you very much, Richard. We owe you one. So this is looking very good now for Maddie, but Maddie Markell, that is. Maddie Hall has got some work to do because Ava Smith has just gone past her, talking about Geary swimmers. So Richard McLaughlin, I'm sure, will be very interested in what Ava Smith is up to. So 251.87, Maddie Markell. You can see that 34.8, and the next fastest 36.1 for Ava Smith. So this is starting to really become the Maddie Markell dominance. It is getting very interesting in the 14-year-old contest, because I was going to say you've got lane 7 as well, but she's the 13-year-old, Berin Asia Cock. So she'll be looking for silver at the moment on the 13 age group. She'd be doing very well to get anywhere close to Maddie Markel. So 100 to go for her, 3:27.60. 35.7 split there, so a 1:11 onto that 3:27 would be 4:38. Entered on 4:33. I don't think she'll match that today, but she's having such a busy meet, that's probably not a surprise. And we'll see her, I'm sure, in finals to come tonight, because here she comes up to her final turn. And let's see what the split is here. 4:02.73, a 35 split there. So if she takes that maybe to a 34, perhaps, for the next 50 would be a 4:36. But the race is still on for second here, but Ava Smith is holding off Maddie Hall. So remember, that's for a gold medal. It does look like Maddie Hall is closing the gap then. So Ava Smith has to really dig in here and try and hold on this lead, because the Warrender swimmer is at her. But it is Maddie Markel, a clear win for her now. Is it going to be Ava Smith? I think it is. She holds on to take the gold for the 14-year-olds, 4:40.65. That is faster than we saw before. So she will take gold in the 14 age group. Maddie Hall, the silver. Berin will take silver in the 13 age group. Amy Rimmer goes in the 14 age group, the Bells Hill swimmer, so she will take the bronze in the 14s. And just looking at the next one, that is Gracie Brooke. I think she will take the bronze, 4:49.07. That is faster than the previous heat, so subject to confirmation, of course. But I think those are the medalists that we'll be seeing very shortly coming up to the blocks. In fact, as soon as they got out of the water, pretty much, I think they're expected to go and get their medals.
6 seconds off her entry time, though, for Ava Smith, so that's a big improvement, and a good race as well. She raced really hard.
Yeah, she did race it very well, didn't she? She just pushed hard in that sort of 250 to 350 area. And she had enough in hand that although Maddie Hall came back at her strongly on that last 50, there was just too much for her to do. And Ava Smith took the win with, as you say, that big PB. So there we see the podium, just waiting for some athletes to come onto it. Can confirm that it is, as I said, those medalists. So we're just waiting for them to get themselves nice and tidy for the presentations.
I do like these quick presentations. It means the swimmers can go off and swim down, recover, let their bodies relax a little bit, move the lactic acid around a bit before they go off and have something to eat before they come back for their finals again.
Yes, it is, particularly for these young ones. I mean, quite a grueling meet, isn't it? Most of them swim a lot of events. And over a 5-day period, this really is the only meet, unless they go down to the British meets, that of that length of time that they'll have. So all the district meets are run over weekends. So yeah, a new experience for them, and something that they'll need to learn to cope with, and to manage their bodies over several swims. It's a real learning experience.
Particularly away from home. But I mean, I've mentioned it before. I think the 14-year-olds have a particularly tough time of it at this meet, because they are racing in the bigger teams. They're racing in relays in the morning. They've got several events in the afternoon, and those that are competitive in the finals have also got finals in the evening. Sometimes relays at the end of the finals as well, although only one opportunity to do that for each of the age groups. But the 14-year-olds, I think, like I say, I think it's particularly a particularly long day for them. I mean, you're right, you pointed out that we have got a fantastic diving pit here, which is like 6 or 7 lanes worth of swim down pool, which is open all of the time. So swimmers can get used to those swim down protocols and warm up protocols between races during the session, which is a luxury that we don't have in very many pools around the country. But we do that. We do do that for our Scottish National Age Group champions. So here are our medalists, and the medals are being presented by Kerry Wood, who is the pathway coach for Scottish swimming currently, former coach of Stirling and also a Commonwealth athlete herself. Our bronze medalists, Amy Rimmer from Bells Hill and Gracie Brooke from Hamilton Aquatics. And the silver medalists now. We've got Berin Isaiah Cox, so she was the 13-year silver medalist, and Maddie Hoole, the silver medal winner for the 14-year-olds from Warren de Bath. So Maddie Markell winning the gold medal for the 13-year-olds. Maddie, is she a Scot? So Maddie is Scot, so she's our Scottish national age group champion. And our champion in the 14-year age group from Geary, Ava Smith. Well done, ladies.
Yeah, good stuff. So some enjoyable racing in those 400 freestyles. We finish our afternoon session with 2 heats of 1500 freestyle. So settle back. We've got probably about 40-something minutes of swimming for you coming up in these 2 heats. So you might want to just go and sneak a quick cup of tea or coffee while you settle down to watch it. Don't take too long though, because they'll be off before you know it. You don't want to miss a minute. So just looking at this one, in the second heat, it's all 14-year-olds, so the 11 to 13s will get decided in the first heat. We've got 6 of them are in the 11 to 13s and 4 14-year-olds. The 14-year-olds are in the center lanes, and then either side of them will be the 6 who will be competing for gold in the 11 to 13s. So we've really got 2 different races to talk about in this one. The 14s, we're looking to set a good time for the second heat, and the 11 to 13s, it's all about gold, silver and bronze. So the full lineup: Nikiforos Kalamarkis, 12-year-old this year from City of Glasgow. He's in lane 0. Alex Jakovides of Inverclyde, he's 13 this year. Cameron Miller of North Ayrshire, also 13 this year, so 3 in that 11 to 13 age group in those lanes. Then we've got the 14-year-olds, Caleb Gray of Finns in lane 3, Cameron Jupp, University of Aberdeen Performance in 4, Lewis Relly of South Ayrshire in 5, and Jensen Buscutter of City of Glasgow in 6. And then the remaining 13-year-olds, Jack Handley of Ren 96 in lane 7, Glenn Geddes, University of Aberdeen Performance in 8, and Ethan King of Ren 96 in lane 9. So just think through those 3 swimmers at the nearest side to the camera and the 3 on the farther side there in doing the one contest, and the 4 in the middle lanes doing the other one. And certainly the early leader is from the middle lanes, as you would expect. Cameron Jupp leads the way. 107, 53 to be precise. Leading swimmer of the youngsters, well, it's pretty close. Lane 2, Cameron Miller, and lane 7, Jack Handley. So that is North Ayrshire against Ren 96. So we will keep an eye on that as they go through. Cameron Jupp leads the way. There you can see all the splits coming up there. Cameron Miller in 3rd place overall is leading the 11 to 13s, but well, you can see he's there in lane 2 and up in lane 7, so 3 from the top, pretty much at the same sort of pace as we come up to 200 now. Cameron Jupp to 22.12, pacing 37.1. Jack Handley now just with the edge over Cameron Miller. 2nd place in the 14-year-olds, Lewis Relly in lane 5. In terms of form, Cameron Jupp entered 19.08, is the fastest on paper. 8th in North Districts. Cameron Miller, the fastest on paper of the 13-year-olds, West District short course champion. Cameron Sharp. Jack Handley putting in a nice turn there, 37.4. So he's now got himself a second and a half of an advantage over Cameron Miller. And he's not far behind Lewis Threlly. Cameron Sharp will be looking now to pull away and post a good time.
So his last 100 was about 1:15, but I think he's still easing into his swim there. 1:15 for this one as well, so pretty consistent pacing there for Cameron Jupp. Round and about the 37s and 37 mid, that type of time. I was looking at Glenn Geddes over in lane 8. I just remember him back-ending a race earlier on, but perhaps this is not his thing, I don't know. Be interesting to see what he does midway through. So he looks as though he's working quite hard. I'm just trying to look around the pool and see where the threats are going to come from, but Cameron Jupp looking pretty comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, but Jack Handley in the leading 11 to 13s has now gone past Lewis Raleigh, and well, really his race is against Cameron there in lane 2, and he's now 4.5 seconds clear of him. So Jack Handley really setting the pace here as far as the 11 to 13s are concerned. So we'll see whether he can sustain this. It's very much a challenge to learn how to swim this 1500. 4:52.94, so 1:16 that time, so slightly slower for Cameron than he has been going.
Yeah, he had a pretty slow last 50 up towards the turn end. It was 38 high, which was a bit out of character with the rest of the splits that he's been having. But that was a good recovery there with 37 low. But over in lane 7, I think you're right to highlight him. Jack Handley looking very strong indeed. It's very symmetrical. That's, so when I say that, as soon as he does that, he turns his head to the left and swings over. But I think he's catching.
Yeah, he definitely is. 37.8 against the 38.6 for Cameron and 38.6 for Lewis as well. He's still a fair way back, 3-4 meters. And you can see lane 6, Jensen Bosketer, and lane 2, Cameron Miller, just on the right-hand side of your screen. Trying desperately to stay in shot here. But at the turn, let's see whether Jack is continuing to make progress. So it's a 37.9 for Cameron, 38.1, so a little bit in Cameron's favour that time. 6:09.52. So what's that, about a 1:16.5?
Yeah, so I think the pace has dropped a little bit. And that's from Cameron Jupp. It's not because Jack Handley is swimming faster. Jack is swimming really well. But I think the pace has dropped from Cameron Jupp. I mean, we've spoken about this so many times before, but the 1500 metres are very often raced rather than two halves like we'd see with a 200, but in three thirds. And the 500 metres, we're now into the second 500 metres of the race.
But look at that, 37.7 for Jack. He took a second out of the Cameron Jupp lead in that one. So there are sometimes some currents in the pool, which means you'll swim faster one way than the other.
I was just going to mention the current in the pool, Duncan, because I'm looking at the splits on the board, and on the way up the way, the middle lanes are red and the outside lanes are green, and on the way back the way, the middle lanes are green and the outside lanes are red. I mean, it's not significant, but it is there.
But the good news is, particularly in the distance events, it all evens out. So 1 second is the gap. 7:26, 7:27. So another 1:16.5. So that was pretty consistent pacing for Cameron. Jack has the bit between his teeth here. And, well, it's hard to see past him for that 11 to 13 gold medal unless something terrible happens in the remaining part of the race. So this is 6:50 that they're coming up to now. So still a long, long way to go, but Jack has really laid out his stall, and he's now pretty much with Cameron, just a 10th behind him. Again, pacing 9/10 faster that time. Lewis Relly also, I think, making some ground on Cameron Chubb, so we'll keep an eye on him in lane 5. And then next is Jensen Busketer. You can see there on the right of your screen. Not sure, we can't see Cameron Miller on screen at the moment. Just looking at the pool, and he is... There you see him there, just saw him.
Fifth, yeah.
Yep.
So he is our second place 13-year-old.
Yeah,
Cameron
so
Jupp just touching first there, only by 100th. It was a 10th at the last turn and a 100th this one.
But Jack does seem to have been quite a bit faster than Cameron coming up to the turn end, so we'll maybe expect him to be our new leader at this next turn. I think he is going to be. See the dappled sunshine in the pool. We've got some roof lights in this pool, so the sun comes shining through. I don't know whether that is a distraction for the swimmers as they go through these little squares of sunshine. I suspect they're pretty oblivious. It might be, in fact, them in backstroke, I don't know.
I think it's funny actually. It reminded me. I've got some of my favourite little swimmers. We used to train here once a week on a Saturday morning, and there was one time one of my swimmers said to me, "Lynn, there's a rabbit on the roof. There's a rabbit on the roof." And I'm sure it was a seagull, but she was convinced that there was a rabbit on the roof because you could see them through the glass. When the pool was first built, I mean, it's got a beautiful array of windows that you can see all the way around it, but we didn't have any blinds on them, and the pool started to develop a little bit of moss, so they put up some blinds for days like this, and they're actually extremely effective, but you can't block off the skylights in the roof. But yes, it is extra. It's a very bright day. But yeah, rabbits on the roof.
Yeah, Aberdeen is known for its seagulls. They make their presence felt when you're in the city. But here we come. Cameron is, I think, just picked up his pace probably to respond to Jack's pressure. That's the 8:50 turn. And you can see he's back up a second faster, and they're a 38.3 against a 38.6. So, yes, got a bit of a wake-up call, I think, Cameron there, and has decided, right, I'm not having this. I'm not having that 13-year-old come past me. And he is doing his best to re-establish his lead. So we'll just check on the split here. Coming in 11.16. So about a 1.16. So about half a second faster than he had been going. And that's enough probably just to start edging away from Jack once again. Quite good for Jack to have Cameron within eye shot there, just keeps him pacing well. It's really quite a way behind now. I had thought at one point that he might be making ground on Cameron. I don't think he is now.
Cameron there, just lifting his head up just a little to look to see how many laps there are left. And he sees the number 11 up on the board. So not quite inside the final third of the race. That will be at this turn up here at the start end. But, a body length and a half, maybe 2 body lengths ahead now of the second place swimmer. What's his entry time? So Cameron, 19:08 and 12:31 at the 1,000 meters. So 1.5 times that. That's what we'd expect to see the time. So that's what's 18:45.
Yeah, we'd be doing well if he can make 18:45, I think. But we'll see how he goes. That was actually a 1:15. That was his fastest split for a while, so just over 1:15. So if you do the maths that way, it's about a 6:15 order on that. So you come to pretty much the same answer, actually. So if he can sustain this new pace, then he would be certainly a nice PB. He's now got that lead back up to 4 seconds over Jack Handley. There you can see the second place 11 to 13 coming up. He's having a good contest with Jensen Busketer. So that's all been close. Cameron Miller, that is, from North Ayrshire in lane 2. So not seeing too much of him, but it's a silver medal swim, it looks like, coming in from him. Just checking who's at the moment in bronze medal position. And I think that is Glenn Geddes, if I'm not mistaken, in lane 8. So again, we'll just check up on that as they come in. So 13:46.70.
So another 1:15, 100 metre there for Cameron. And it's funny because I thought he was listing over towards the side, but he seems to have found his form again. Perhaps feeling a bit more confident now that he's got a bit of a lead over the second place swimmer, who's still working hard there in second place. He's not given up at all.
Yeah, so just checking on the venue scoreboard, it is Glenn Geddes who is swimming in, currently in bronze medal position in the 11 to 13s. Glenn, the swimmer representing University of Aberdeen Performance, was the North District age group champion. You can see him in the distance in lane 8 there, just heading in the opposite direction from our leader Cameron Chubb. So approaching now 1,200 metres. See the action from the coaches on the pool side. Sometimes they're more active than the swimmers in the pool.
That's just a perception, Duncan. I don't think they are really. It's just lots of arm waving. They're slowed a little there.
Yeah, 1:17 there, so a 38.0 coming back. So we said his entry time is 19:08. I'd expect him certainly still to be comfortably inside that. And it has been a good, solid swim from Cameron. Said he had that little wobble in the middle section when Jack Handley got back at him, but that acted as a very nice wake-up call, and off he went, and now is pretty secure with this lead. You see there, 9/10 faster than Jack through that last 50. And the gap now between them is, well, it's hard to work out just at the moment. I think it's maybe about 15 metres. It'll be 200 to go at this turn. 16:19. So back into, in fact, that's a nice one, that back into the 1:15s. So that little blip to 1:17, that's in the past now. So if we could do something around the 2:30, that would be about 18:50. And if he could do that for his final 200.
Yes, no change in the order there in those 3 13-year-olds. So we do recall Glenn Geddes back-ending his race, but I think he's just got too much to make up. He's 10 seconds behind the second place 13-year-old Cameron Miller, who in turn is quite a way behind Jack Handley. I mean, Jack Handley's had a really good race. I know he's dropped back a little bit from Glenn Geddes, but I think that's mostly because of Glenn Geddes making a move.
Yeah, it certainly looks like a gold medal swim coming up for Jack. His entry time 19:29, so we'd expect him to be comfortably inside that as well. So it's the bell now for Cameron. So again, let's just check on the split here, 17:33.83. So that was under a 1:15, so he's on target for getting under the 18:50 here. Jack Handley, his time with 100 to go is 17:45. So 12 seconds back on Cameron. So he's going to be around the 19-minute mark, you would think. His entry time, 19:29. So that's going to be a very impressive improvement. So here comes Cameron Sharp down his final length. Really looking now to wind it up. And I think he's going to be faster than my prediction for him, because definitely looks to have picked up the pace in this final length. See the clock just going through 18:30. So can he get, well, to the low 1840s, I think, here. So here he comes as the lane ropes turn red into the wall, and 18:45.36, very nicely done. So that is an improvement of 23 seconds. Here comes our 11 to 13 gold medalist, Jack Handley. Is he going to get under the 19 minutes? Ooh, so close. 19:00.98. Lewis Frelly, our second 14-year-old. Then Jensen Basketer will be the third 14-year-old. Here comes our silver medalist in the 11 to 13s, Cameron Miller, 19:17.23. That's a 4-second improvement for Cameron. And up there in lane 8 will be our bronze medalist, Glenn Geddes, 19:29.59, and that's a 10-second improvement for Glenn. Here come the final swimmers. Lane 3 is Caleb Gray, one of our 14-year-olds, and then the two remaining 11 to 13s. We're having a right old scrap there in 0 and 1, but it just goes to Nikiforos over Alex. 19:53 and also 19:53. So they'll be happy with that. Certainly Nikiforos was entered 2017, so that was a good improvement. And then Ethan King will finish the first heat. Oh, Shakovidas there, not quite at his entry time, 19:53 for him. And here comes Ethan to finish off the heat, 20:23. In fact, that's inside his entry time by a couple of seconds, so nicely done.
Yeah, and in fact, we predicted that 18:45, didn't we, about halfway through? Worked quite nicely.
Yep.
So well done, Cameron, and well done to the medalists for the 11 to 13-year-old, and the presentations will be after this next heat, which sees some swimmers who we've already seen in the water this afternoon. So in lane 0, we have Ethan Pate. In lane 1, Ethan representing Finns. In lane 1, Ed Pearson, the Isle of Man. In lane 2, Yasin Hattab from Dumfries. In lane 3, Adam Gibson, Geary. Lane 4, Sam Ruff, City of Glasgow. In lane 5, Julian Ockrodge from Delting. Lane 6, Charlie Braid, Wren 96. Lane 7, Angus Donald, Warrender Baths Club. In lane 8, Lewis Stark from Glenrothes. And in lane 9, Lewis Morgan, University of Aberdeen. And all the swimmers in this heat is swimming in the 14-year age group. Times ranging from the fastest one belongs to Sam. We've seen Sam on top of the podium already this week, or during these championships, should I say, ranging out to about 19 minutes. So about a minute separating these swimmers on paper on entry, but we've already seen some massive improvements in the previous heat. And of course, you just can't tell what's going to happen once you get in the water, and it's a really strong, fast start in lane 1 from Ed Pearson, the Isle of Man swimmer. I think, did he not start in one of the earlier races in this afternoon, perhaps preparing himself for the 1500 free? Gone out pretty sharpish there, 1:04.42. His entry time is 18.5 minutes. So that's 3 seconds faster. I mean, it's too early doors yet, but 3 seconds faster than we saw in the first heat. And
yes,
Ed looking good.
Yeah, it's a very aggressive start from Ed in lane 1. So very interesting to see if he can hold this pace. Second in the Lancashire County Championships. Lancashire was a very strong swimming county. Came up to Aberdeen last year to swim in the University of Aberdeen long course meet. That's being held in a few weeks' time up here. So he came to last year's event and he was third. So that's the form I know about for Ed in terms of long course 1500.
And he is Scottish, I understand. Perhaps he's got associations with the North District, I don't know, or with the Aberdeen area. I mean, I really don't know. But always welcome. The University of Aberdeen meet will again take place at the end of April. I guess the school holidays in England are a little bit different. I was just talking, I think I mentioned earlier, to the coach from Aquatic, and she was saying that their kids are back at school already. So ours are in various states of holidays at the moment. And Easter, of course, very late this year. So none of them have waited until Easter to have their break. But what did he do there? 2:16.
There's a good race going on in the middle of the pool. Sam Ruff and Julian Ockrosh side by side. So just keep an eye on them relative to Ed. You can see 254s against 252. So they're about 2 to 2.5 seconds back. So that's not a lot in the context of a 1500. Behind them, lane 6 and lane 3, Charlie Braid and Adam Gibson, and also lane 7, Angus Donald, not that far away. So all those swimmers in the mix, looking to stay in contention as this race develops. Through 300, 3:28.89, that lead about 1.6 now. So Julian got half a second out of that lead in that last 50. So we saw him in the 200 backstroke. Probably backstroke, I think probably is his best event, but Julian was the silver medalist here at North District age groups. So he has some pedigree in this long distance event. And it does look like they are gradually squeezing this Ed Pearson lead. Let's see what it is now. So it was a bit over 2 seconds. It's now only just over 1 second. Julian second, Sam third, Charlie fourth, Adam fifth. So those 5 all fairly close. But Ed certainly laid out the challenge. Now he's got to try and sustain it. Synchronized waving there going on the pool side as we come up to 400 meters, and it is really tight now. In fact, Sam has taken the lead by 900s, 4:43. They are about nearly 10 seconds faster than the previous heat, so I don't think there's any doubt that the 14-year-old medalist will come from this heat. But well, Sam Ruff and Julian Ockrosh, stroke for stroke in the centre lanes now, both have gone past Ed Pearson. So the question is, can he stay with them now that they've caught him? And what about the 2 in lanes 3 and 6, Adam Gibson and Charlie Braid? Can they stay close enough to mount a challenge as this race progresses? Lots of questions, don't know any answers.
I think sometimes it can help to have somebody alongside you, just to help to push you forward just that little bit. Ed was out on his own in lane 1.
I thought you were talking about you and me there.
Oh no, we could do that too, Duncan. But yeah, it's I mean, Julian seems to be working well on towards the towards the turn end, and Sam getting the better of him down towards the start end. But I think that rather than being the current in the pool is the cheering that they're able to see and the encouragement from their teams.
Yes, a good number of teams there lined up. You can see on both sides of the pool.
But you think about it, I mean, we just had that message where we're talking about Julian Ockrosh, and he trains in a 16-metre pool. I mean, he has had the opportunity to race in this long course pool, and the 1500-metre time that he's entered in was swum here. But you know, you can't spend all your time off the island when your home is in Shetland. But well, he should be good at turns, shouldn't he?
Sam Ruff is the one who's just got the advantage now. He's just gradually opening up that lead, the City of Glasgow swimmer. West District champion. He was silver medalist last year. Charlie Braid actually was the one who won it last year, so he's going in lane 6. But if he is to hold that, he's got some serious work to do in the second 2/3 of this race. 7:06.90, so a lead of about a second and a quarter now, and a 36.0 against Julian's 36.3. Charlie Braid now has moved into 3rd, so Ed Pearson just struggling now to stay with the pace, and looks like it might be a Charlie Braid Adam Gibson contest to get that last spot in the podium. I'm of course assuming that they can't catch the two in front of them, and that is a bit of an assumption still at this stage. So let's see whether they can or not. But Sam Ruff is churning them out now and looking really steady. He is a swimmer who has improved vastly in these distance events over the last year, and he looks right up for this at the moment. So this will be 700 meters, so getting close towards the halfway mark. 8:18.58. So a 35.6. You can see over a second faster than Julian in that one, and so that lead now is really starting to stretch. The question for Julian now is maybe about what's going on behind him with Charlie Braid in the white cap. I said national age group champion. I think that Wren is club he uses when he comes up to Scotland. I don't think he's based in Scotland. I might be wrong about that, so do tell me if I am. Sam Ruff up by nearly 3.5 seconds, and then just a couple of seconds now between Sam and Adam, and Charlie Braid in lane 6 right there as well. So certainly a good contest going on for, at the moment, 3rd place, and they're not that far behind Julian Okroj, but well, Sam Ruff is looking pretty strong here. 9:30.30 at the 800, so pacing around 1:11.5. So this is nice steady pacing from him.
Yes, it's been 1:11 mid for for the last 300 meters for Sam Ruff. So there looks to have settled into a pace that he can hold for this middle section of the 1500 free. And Julian Okroj's stroke looks to have shortened a little bit. But, so coming up towards him now in lane 3, Adam Gibson. And on the other side as well, Charlie Braid, as you mentioned earlier, the winner of the event last year. But Julian Okroj still with a good couple of body lengths of advantage.
Yeah, just keep tabs on the gap between Julian and Adam. It was about 1.7 at that last turn. So we'll see what it is now as they come towards the start end. 10:43.66, so that's a 1:13, so slightly slower for Sam in that one. You can see there, 36.8 and 36.4. So that is another 4/10 that Adam Gibson has cut Julian Okroj's advantage. It's now about 1.4. So we've got an interesting contest there going on, and you can't discount Charlie Braid either in the context of this race. One of them is going to miss out on the medal. None of them will want it to be them. Sam, you feel it's unlikely to be him. He is still very firmly in charge. Certainly Adam Gibson looks to be closing in on Julian Ockrosh. Of course, Julian did have that 200 backstroke earlier, and that might be his focus. It's going to be a challenge for him on the back of this 1500, then to come back and swim a 200 backstroke final tonight. 56.09, so a little bit faster there, 112.5 for Sam. So they are now into the final third.
He's still holding his lead though, Sam, isn't he? And as you say, I mean, there's still a third of the race to go. It's got 450 at this turn, so 9 lengths of the pool to go, but 34.83 for that last 50. So that's a fair bit faster than we'd seen previously.
Yeah, so I wonder whether he has got this tactic of different ways to swim the different chunks of 500. We'll see what he settles into in his pacing now. 18 minutes could be a target for him to get under that. 18.07 is entry time. Let's see whether, let's see, 13.06.60. So yes, definitely increasing his pacing. So that was just about 110.5. So, well, if he can keep that pace, he'll be comfortably under 18 minutes. Could be under there 17.50. So it's looking strong here. And you can see there on the left of your screen that this race for second is tightening all the time. Just see Sam going through there, 35.6 there. And now you can see these two turning, and what's the gap? Well, just disappeared off the screen there, but I can tell you it's only 0.6 between Julian and Adam. So that is definitely where the race is. Charlie Braid, out of your screen, is now about 6 seconds back, so it looks like he might be the one that misses out on the medals. Sam, meanwhile, going through 14.18. So again, a 111.5-ish. So this is very impressive from Sam.
Yeah, it's almost, well, what, 12, 15 metres clear of the second place swimmer. He's just eased it out a little bit all the time, just moving further and further ahead. And Julian now has a battle on his hands with Adam Gibson.
Yeah, so we see Sam going round a 35.7 now. So holding that pace. Look at the two of them side by side there as we saw them. And here they come to the turn. You can see on the right of your screen there. And it looks like Adam Gibson did turns just ahead of Julian Ockrosh there by 1/4 of a second. So will Julian have something in the tank for these last phases of this, because at this next turn there's just going to be 200 meters to go. So 2 questions. 15:29.81 for Sam. So that was just shy of a 112 there, so slightly slower than he has been. So, but another 2 lots of 112s, 224, and that would be, well, way under the 18 minutes. So question 1, how much under 18 minutes can Sam go? Question 2, can Julian Ockrosh respond to Adam Gibson's questions? Oh, it looks like he has, because he just saw the shot of it there, that he was just ahead again of Adam Gibson. And you can see now, as we see the wide shot here, the two of them coming up to the wall, and there's nothing to choose between them. That's going to be a thriller. You can see there 500s on the venue scoreboard here in Adam Gibson's favour. So an absolute cracking race for the silver medal going on, but we are focusing here on our leader, and this will be where he hears the bell. So let's see if he has been able to pick it up here. He certainly will pick it up in this next 100. 16:40, 72. So that was around just under a 1:11. Look at the two of them coming in here, and it is advantage Adam Gibson. Maybe Julian's day is done as far as challenging for the silver is concerned, but maybe he's still got something there. We will find out in the next minute or so. No doubt about who's going to take the gold, but that race still on for the silver. Lane 3 versus lane 5, but there we see Sam Ruff now heading for home, a 35.1. So another of those would be a 17:51. Expect him to be faster than that. Can he get under 17:50? It's going to be very close here. Half a length to go. Let's see if he can really get his head down and push on. Not seeing a particularly increase in the stroke tempo here, but the legs are going hard. And here he comes in. Watch the clock as he comes in. It's going to be there or thereabouts on the 17:50. And he does it, 17:49.19. Very nicely done. Big PB of 18 seconds. 18 seconds, I think. Adam Gibson in the end was reasonably comfortable. 2.5 seconds clear of Julian Ockroge. And a good, strong finish. In fact, very fast finish from Adam Gibson. A 31.9. You can see there on the screen as his final 50 against Julian's 32.7. So they will be our medalists, all of them comfortably inside the time from Heat 1 in the 14 age group. Charlie Braid settles for 4th. Yassin Hattab in 5th, 18, 12 and 18. 18 in next, Ed Pearson, the early leader. So 18:35 for Ed. 18:31 is entry time, so Angus Donald behind Ed, home in 7th spot, 18:40. It was still fast in the first heat, so he'll be 7th overall. Cameron Jupp will be the next placed one from the first heat, and it's Lewis Stock here, 19:10. Two more swimmers still to come in. There's Ethan, 19:22. And Lewis Morgan. Getting lots of support from his team. The Hooters going for him as he comes in 19:42.
And then shortly we'll get to see their faces when they top the podium. Good swim.
So your confirmed result. So Sam Ruff, Adam Gibson, Julian Ockroge, they'll be making their way to the podium. We will, of course, see the 400 medalists up first from the... Oh, no, we've already had them, haven't we?
We did them straight away.
God.
But we will see the 11 to 13-year-old
we will
as well.
You're right.
So we spoke about the time that it takes to get from one of those centre lanes out to the side of the pool there, because it's half a length, you know, of a 25-metre pool that you've got to cover. Or if you've got to exit the pool at the far end, it could be 25 metres that you've got to swim extra at the end of a 1500 to get out.
And then you've got to climb out after a 1500 as well. And sometimes, particularly with the senior swimmers, if they've really pushed it, you see them almost
my legs don't work anymore. Yes.
On the side of the pool.
Yes, but they are starting together over there. I mean, all three of the 14-year-old medalists came from that final heat.
We have Phil Potter,
birthday
head
boy.
coach of Heart of Midlothian, on his birthday, as you said, doing presentations for us. So he will do the honours for us.
And he's still a young man, you know. We were working out that he has been the head coach of Heart of Midlothian for more than half his life.
Yep, 25 years this year, I think, if we're not mistaken. So congratulations, Phil. And when you think of some of the swimmers that he's had in that time as well, I mean, Kiana McInnes was really learnt her trade in Heart of Midlothian, and plenty of others as well. Holly McGill, who's really coming up as a rising star at the moment at Stirling. But here are our medalists. So the bronze medalists, University of Aberdeen performances, Glenn Geddes.
And he looks chuffed, doesn't he?
Yep. And from Delting Dolphins, Julian Okroge. Is green the Delting colours?
Oh, yes.
Looks like it, yeah.
And he looks chuffed as well. Not disappointed at all, he looks chuffed.
Silver medalists. North Ayrshire's Cameron Miller. Nice to see North Ayrshire on the podium.
Who looks like he's not been doing anything this afternoon. I'm sure we know he has.
Adam Gibson of Geary, the silver medalist for the 14-year-olds. Strong swim. And our champions are Jack Handley of Run 96 in the 11 to 13s.
I was thinking Phil was a 1,500 metre swimmer himself, wasn't he? That was his event.
Sam Ruff of City of Glasgow, champion in the 14s. Yep, so Phil will certainly know what it feels like to come out of the water from a 1,500.
Great pictures, good memories.
And that's us, we're done.
Thank you very much, that was good fun.
Yeah, another great session, some great racing to go on. Lovely to have those distance swims. You can see there on the screen. We'll be back at 5:10 for our third night of finals. But until then, we'll wish you a very good afternoon.
Yep, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks very much. Thank you, Duncan.